Every year something strange happens for about 30 days. Millions of people willingly make their lives harder. They wake up earlier than usual, they eat less, they sleep less, they work while they're tired. They go through their day hungry, but somehow they look forward to it. Ramadan is my favorite month of the year. It doesn't make sense, right? Because by every modern standard, Ramadan should make life worse. Less energy, less comfort, less coffee. But people describe the opposite. They say they feel calmer, clearer, more present, almost like time itself slows down. And that made me curious, because if removing things from your life can make it feel fuller, then maybe Ramadan isn't about food at all. Maybe it's about something we've quietly lost. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. To understand Ramadan, you have to go back 1,400 years to a cave on a mountain in the middle of the Arabian desert. A man sat alone. His name was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He wasn't a king, he wasn't a scholar, he was a merchant, he was a husband, he was a father, but he was searching. In a world obsessed with wealth, power and status, he was searching for meaning. So he would retreat to this cave called Hira. The goal wasn't to escape the world, the goal was to understand it. For days, sometimes weeks, and then one night in the month of Ramadan, everything changed. He was no longer alone. An angel entered the cave and seized him once, twice, 3 times, until the first words of the Quran were revealed. And the first words were not believe, worship, obey. The first word was Iqra. Read, recite, reflect, engage. And that is where Ramadan begins. It's an awakening, the removal of distractions, the attainment of clarity. Ramadan was never meant to be the absence of food. It was meant to be the removal of noise, the lifting of veils. So for the first time in months, you can finally see and hear what truly matters. But do you know what's strange? Fasting didn't begin with Islam. It's older than Islam, it's older than Christianity, older than history as we record it. Moses fasted 40 days on Mount Sinai. Jesus fasted for 40 days in the desert. And the Quran says, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you. So why? Why has every major faith tradition told its followers to willingly feel hunger? What did they understand that we've forgotten? Hunger by itself isn't special. Everyone gets hungry. But Ramadan does something different. It's not famine, it's not poverty. The food is right there, in the fridge, on the counter, within arm's reach. And that's the whole point. You're not unable to eat, you're choosing not to, and nobody's watching. Nobody will check. You just believe God sees. That changes everything. Most worship is visible. Prayer, people see you. Charity, you can announce it. Hajj, millions of witnesses. Fasting is silent. You could eat right now, you could drink, no one would know except you and God. Every good deed belongs to the person who does it except fasting. Fasting is for me and I will reward it myself. Why? Because there's no audience when you're fasting, no applause when you're alone, no recognition, no performance, just you. And that's uncomfortable because you can't do it for approval. It asks, would you still do this if no one ever knew? Ramadan is submission. You have the food, you have the water, you have access to everything, and you say no for Allah. That's a different kind of strength. Ramadan became obligatory in the 2nd year after the migration to Medina. That same Ramadan, they marched towards Badr, 313. Not really an army. Some shared mounts, equipment was limited. They hadn't set out expecting a major confrontation. Across from them stood nearly 1,000 from Mecca, and this was Ramadan. We know from authentic narrations that when the Prophet ﷺ traveled in Ramadan, sometimes he fasted and sometimes he did not. On difficult journeys, he broke his fast and allowed others to follow. The companions would travel with him. Some fasted, some didn't. Neither condemned the other. Ramadan was never rigidity, it was obedience. And obedience Obedience includes accepting concession when God allows it. At Badr, the Quran describes something extraordinary. When you sought help from your Lord and He answered you, I'll reinforce you with 1,000 angels, one after another. 313 facing nearly 1,000, outmatched on every visible scale. Yet the Quran doesn't credit numbers. It points to sincerity, it points to resilience. It points to a small group who had already learned through fasting how to submit when desire pulls in the opposite direction. Badr wasn't won by appetite. It wasn't won by ego. It was won by surrender. And that surrender had been practiced long before the battlefield. They marched in Ramadan and nearly faced 1,000 men. And Badr happened in Ramadan. So what is it about this month? What makes people hold on to it even in uncertainty? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever fasts Ramadan with faith and seeking reward, his previous sins will be forgiven. That means the weight you've been carrying lifted. He also said, whoever stands in prayer during Ramadan with faith and seeking reward, his previous sins will be forgiven. The days are fasting, the nights are standing in prayer, and forgiveness is attached to both. Then there is Laylatul Qadr, the night the Quran was revealed. The Quran says Laylatul Qadr is better than 1,000 months. 1,000 months is more than 83 years. One night in this month outweighs a lifetime. And Ramadan is not only about standing and fasting, it is the month of the Quran. Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed. This is why the Prophet ﷺ would review the Quran with Jibreel ﷺ every Ramadan, and in his final year he reviewed it twice. That's not a small detail. The month fasting was made obligatory is the same month revelation began. The Quran isn't an accessory in Ramadan. It is the center of it. Then there is the Hadith Qudsi. Every deed of the son of Adam is for him except fasting. It is for me and I will reward it. No number is given. Elsewhere, rewards are described as multiplied by tenfold or 700 times, but here it's left open. Scholars said that openness itself is the point. There is also a narration that voluntary acts in Ramadan carry the reward of obligatory acts outside of it, and obligatory acts are multiplied many times over. So if small acts weigh more, what does that say about obligatory acts? And then there's something heavier. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ once said Ameen 3 times while ascending the pulpit. When asked why, he said Jibreel ﷺ had made a supplication including this: may he be humiliated, the one who reaches Ramadan and is not forgiven. And the Prophet ﷺ said Ameen. That isn't meant to threaten. It shows how open the door is. A month filled with mercy. The Prophet ﷺ described its beginning as mercy, its middle as forgiveness, and its end as freedom from the fire. And to that, the last 10 nights, the Prophet ﷺ would increase in worship. When they arrived, he would stay awake and wake his family. This is why people fill the mosque during Taraweeh, why charity increases, why many people choose to give zakat during Ramadan, hoping their obligation lands in a month where good deeds are multiplied. There's something different about this time. The word Ramadan itself comes from a root associated with heat, something that burns, as if the month was designed to burn things away, sins, habits, versions of yourself that shouldn't follow you forward. Gold is purified in fire. Maybe that's the image. You enter one way, you leave lighter. And the verse that made fasting obligatory explains the reason clearly, so that you may attain taqwa, righteousness, God consciousness. Not hunger for the sake of hunger, not exhaustion for the sake of exhaustion. Taqwa, a steadiness that reminds when the month ends. Ramadan isn't meant to be survived. It's meant to change you. And if it's accepted, you don't just finish the month, you graduate from it. And then it ends. 30 days, gone. Eid arrives, the celebrations, the joy. There's also like a quiet sadness because you know what's coming. The alarm won't go off at 3 a.m. anymore. The fridge will be open during the day. The nights won't feel as sacred. Slowly, you'll go back, scrolling, snacking mindlessly. The version of yourself you thought you'd left behind. Can you keep what you learned when the month is gone? The Quran says, and worship your Lord until certainty comes to you. Certainty, death. Ramadan isn't the goal. It's training for the rest of of your life. The discipline you built for your daily prayers when no one's watching. The hunger you endured so you remember gratitude. The nights you stayed awake so you know you're capable of more than comfort. You were training your soul. Here's the mercy. If you fall back, if you forget, if the taqwa fades, Ramadan comes again. Every year, like clockwork, another chance. The Prophet ﷺ used to pray, "Oh Allah, allow us to reach Ramadan." Because it's the month that shows you who you could be. So when this Ramadan ends, ask yourself, did it change me? If it did, carry something forward. One thing, one prayer you don't miss, one habit you don't return to, one moment of patience you wouldn't have had before. That's graduation, proof that something shifted. Ramadan doesn't ask you to be flawless. It asks you to be better than you were.